Okay, should be good.
Okay. I would like to call the Policy Committee of the Portland Board of Public Education to order. It is Monday, February 23rd, 2026. We are meeting in an online format. My name is Maya Lena, and I am the chair of the Policy Committee. Tonight we have with us Policy Committee members, Vice Chair of the Board and District 1 Representative Mickey Bondo. We also have District 2 Representative Ali Ali and at-large Representative Yusra Ali. We also have Chief of Strategy and Operations, Dr. Sarah Warren. We have a brief agenda this evening. Tonight we are going to have our second discussion of the proposed 2026-2027 academic calendar, and we will be voting to pass that on to the full board. And after that is done, we are going to briefly discuss the plans for our upcoming policy committee meetings. So with that, Dr. Warren, you may have the floor to talk about the calendar. Thank you so much.
I will. Thank you very much. Let me just double check on the attendee side. Oh, hold on one second. Let me bring Sarah Lentz
Oh,
over.
yes. Also, I forgot to ask if there is any public comment. We will take public comment now. So if you would like to give public comment, you can raise your Zoom hand, and I will read the public comment guidelines. Okay, great. I do see a couple of people, so let me just, I don't have those ready. I will get them just one moment. I apologize. We don't often have people giving public comment, so I'm not prepared. 1 second. Here we go. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and read the public comment guidelines, and then I will call on the first person to speak. Um, okay. So, as a reminder about public comment, members of the public may speak on any subject directly related to the operations of the schools, except for personnel matters or complaints concerning specific employees or students, which shall be addressed through established policies and procedures. If an item is on the agenda, please use the public comment time associated with that item. Comments are limited to a maximum of 3 minutes or 6 minutes for individuals using an interpreter to make their comment. Individuals may not relinquish a portion of their allotted time to another speaker. The board may not respond to comments, and please refrain from responding in the audience. Speakers must refrain from engaging in disruptive conduct, including but not limited to using vulgar and/or obscene language, threatening others using using words or by other actions, using pejorative or discriminatory language with reference to a person or a group on the basis of their religion, ethnicity, nationality, race, color, descent, gender, or other identity factor, making defamatory comments, exceeding the allotted time limits, taking over or interrupting others, offering repetitive comments, and offering comment on matters unrelated to the school district's programs, policies, or operations. I will stop any public comment that is contrary to these rules. To give public comment, please come forward, raise your hand in Zoom, and please begin by introducing yourself with your name or address. We will alternate. Nope, we're all doing it on Zoom, so keep it at that. I will keep time and I will raise my hand indicating that you have 30 seconds remaining, and I will say time signifying the end of your time. I don't have colored folders to raise. If you get to the end of your time and would like to request more time, you may do so. Okay. So going back to Zoom. Okay, Claire Woodman, please go ahead. Let's see. Dr. Warren, is she able to speak up there? I think that should work. Claire, go ahead.
Hi there, can you hear me?
Yes, great.
Hi, good evening. Thanks so much for taking my comment. My name is Claire Woodman. I live in Portland, and I also work at Deering High School. And my comment is brief. First, I hope everybody was safe today in the storm. And I wanted just to acknowledge and thank you for hearing the feedback of the staff in regards to the staff student conduct policy and bringing it back over to this committee. So I know that there's been a lot of work done on it, and I really do appreciate you all giving it another look based upon staff feedback. So thank you for taking my comment, and I hope you have a great meeting.
Thank you, Claire. Alice Ross. We're working on it over here. Hold on. Okay, Alice, go ahead and try. See if we can hear you. Dr. Warren, you're on mute. I don't know if you're trying to talk.
Sorry. Alice, can you go ahead and try to talk? You should be able to now. Let me try one more. That's weird. Alice, you're in here twice, so I'm going to try. I'm not sure why. I'm going to hit. It says talking permitted. Can you go ahead and try again?
Hmm.
Okay, let me try one more time. Let's give it one more shot, Alice. Oh, you're on mute. Can you unmute yourself? Maybe I need to unmute you again.
Hi there. Does
There
that
you
work?
are. Okay.
Yeah, I'm
Yes,
so sorry about that.
That's
I
okay.
had some problems getting in and then somehow I was on it twice, so I'm sorry. Thank you so much for meeting. My name is Alice Ross and I'm a Portland High School and Reiki school parent. And I also work part-time as a substitute teacher at Reiki. And my comments today is that we really need more support in our classrooms. I can see firsthand the difference that it makes when our schools are properly supported and what happens when they're not. The teachers are extraordinary and deeply, deeply committed. Every day they're navigating classrooms with immense and complex needs, multilingual learners, including food and housing insecurity, and students who require significant support. I'm here to ask for extra teachers and ed techs without adequate support. Too much of the school day is consumed by classroom management rather than meaningful learning and growth. To meet these needs and maintain classrooms where students can truly thrive, we need more educators in our buildings. Thank you.
thank you, Alice. Was
And
there
I just procedurally, I just want to share with Alice that this committee will absolutely hear and document and share your input. And I also want to make sure that you know that there's a concurrent finance committee meeting right now, which is on a different link. And if you would like to participate in that, they're talking about the budget there tonight. And then following this at I lose track of the meeting times. 7:30 p.m. There's also a curriculum committee meeting in case you have any interest in that one. So it's always fine to share at any of these public comments, but I just wanted you to know as well, and for other members who might be of the public that might be watching, that there's a budget conversation tonight on the other concurrent committee call.
Great, thank you. Yes, I would love to take part.
And all of those links are available through the board page of our website.
Great, thank you.
Okay, thank you so much. If there's anyone else who would like to give public comment, you can raise your Zoom hand. And while we're doing that, I wanted to welcome Board Chair Lenz, who has joined us. Okay, I don't see anyone else wanting to give public comment, so I'm going to go ahead and close public comment, and now I'll pass it on to Dr. Warren.
I'm just going to pull up the calendar and I'm going to mute for a second while the snowplow is passing my window. Okay. Can you see the calendar now? Great. Okay, everybody, I think we are there. There's been a lot of great input on this calendar, so I feel really good about that. I really am grateful for all of the many teachers, ed techs, other staff who weighed in on this, and the board itself, this committee in particular, as well as our partners, including the rec department, the PATHS program partners, so the sending districts that send to our PATHS program. Many people, our cabinet, lots of people have weighed in on this, our school leaders. So it's just been really helpful to have so much input on this calendar. Again, we talked about this at the last meeting, but it's a very complex thing. It doesn't seem like it should be, but it's actually a very complex thing to put the calendar together. And it's a series of trade-offs. We can probably never do all the things we might like to do with it, but we try to do our best to get as many of our needs and goals met. One of the things that we have to do by law is hit at least 175 instructional days and then at least 180 teacher days. And in the contract, the teacher contract, Portland Education Association, it calls for 181 days. So 6 teacher days beyond the student days. And then there are 2 more that aren't reflected in the calendar. So 183 total. And those 2 added days that you don't see in the calendar here, teacher days, are for conference related work. And I will say, because we did get a number of comments and questions about the conferences, especially when I put out the survey to staff about the calendar, there were just people, asking questions and raising concerns about the conferences. We have sent separate communications out about that. The first conferences for the spring begin next week. And we heard lots of feedback, especially from teachers and staff, about the conference schedule in the fall. And we worked really hard to be responsive to that and have created a different approach for the spring that allows each school to take at least one half day for their conference schedule, in addition to the 2 teacher days that are set aside according to the contract. So we're hoping that the greater flexibility in the schedule will be work better for both staff and families, and ensure that we get all of the conferences in, and that we do it in a way that does not tax our folks in the way that I think some people were feeling in the fall. So you don't see that reflected here, but I did want to just note it because that was, I think a big issue for a lot of people. So this hasn't actually really changed since the last time you saw it, but just as a quick recap, we have the 4 teacher days at the start of the year. The committee had asked that I go back and speak again with our partners, particularly our collective bargaining partners, to get their input on a couple of key questions. And one of those was about this first week. So when teachers return, did we want to stick with this Friday off on August 28th? Or might we want to start on Tuesday, the 25th, and then just run straight through that week? I did meet with the union leadership, and they were very helpful in providing their quick feedback. They felt strongly that we should stick with this schedule, so the first 4 days of that week, and then give people that Friday off before students return. We did have some questions from people about why the calendar, and why were people going back to school so early? And I just want to again remind people that this year's calendar was actually almost the same. It's very similar. It's just that things feel a little bit different because of Labor Day falling late next year. But the first day of school, or sorry, first teacher day this year was, I think it was 8/25, as I recall. Everything was just one day off from where it is now. And so, and this is also aligned to how other districts around us are doing things. I also had a good conversation with our union partners around that Friday, September 4th. It was slated in the last draft to not be a school day or a teacher work day, and that continues to be the case. They really felt like that is a longstanding tradition that people take that day off before the Labor Day weekend, and they felt like we really needed to stick with that. And I will say that had we turned that into a student day, which was one of the various drafts along the way, we would have been out of step with the other districts around us. They were all taking this day off. So we made that a non-workday, non-student day. And most of the rest of this has remained the same. One of the other questions that had come up was around the PD day. So an earlier draft of this had that PD day falling in late January. And the rationale behind that had been we were trying to build our way towards sort of a mid-semester or between semester break and reflection time. But that did not resonate with a lot of folks that we heard from in the survey, high school teachers, and that was particularly where we thought it might be useful. And a number of people had suggested that they would rather see it back in March, which is how we're doing it this year. It was also to our advantage to move from January to March so that we could better align with the paths sending districts. There was a question raised as I was kind of preparing in between the two meetings as to whether we should try to move this PD day to align to or coincide with, be right up against the Eid holiday, which is how we're doing it this year. The challenge in doing that is that it would end up meaning either a Tuesday or a Thursday, and that creates a very strange student week. So students would either come to school on Monday and then be out for 2 days, or they would come to school Monday, Tuesday, and then be out Wednesday, Thursday, and then back on Friday, which seems like a very challenging thing to manage for families and from potentially there's a rhythm that gets created in schools and with behavior and students just settling in. And it seemed like that could be very jarring. By putting it on 319, we align to some of our other districts, but we also create a 3-day weekend for families who choose to take that day and use it as an opportunity to potentially get away. So we did not change that particular thing. And then the rest of the calendar, I think, is basically the same as it was the last time we looked at it. And again, one of the key things that we had tried to do this time was to see if we could stay within the Juneteenth period as a cutoff, so that we could get the last teacher day in, as well as obviously the last student day, but then also the last teacher day before Juneteenth. And this current version of the calendar accomplishes that. A number of people in the survey had expressed appreciation for that as a goal. Any questions or thoughts?
I do have a question, Dr. Warren, just about the PD day and the observance of Eid in March. And just in terms of logistics, like I know we haven't gotten to this yet this calendar year, but I know for all families, students will not go to school on both days. So in terms of like planning and logistics, when the holiday falls doesn't affect like whether or not school is open.
Yep.
And so I'm
Yeah.
just wondering logistically how we think that might play out for this
Yep.
proposal.
Yeah. And I've looked at Lewiston as a sort of guidepost for this because they declared they actually recognize both of the Eids. And the way that they do it is they treat it essentially like a snow day. So you can anticipate that it would be on the predicted day. In my experience, it more often than not is on the day that's sort of anticipated. But it doesn't get confirmed until the sighting of the moon the day before. And so we would confirm, we would And as we will actually this year, because it matters for staff, it won't have the same impact on families this year, but for staff, we will confirm which day is the PD day and which day is the holiday. Right now, for this year, it's anticipated that the PD day will be Thursday and the holiday on Friday. For next year, if we did follow this schedule, we would confirm the day before that the holiday was falling on that Wednesday. And if anything were to change in terms of the religious leaders' sighting of the moon, then we would announce that as quickly as we knew to families. And then the PD day, the district PD day would just be set. That wouldn't change.
Are there any other committee members that have questions? And Chair Lenz, you're welcome also to chime in. Yes, Chair Lenz.
Yeah, I just really appreciate the process around this calendar. It just feels like it has had multiple rounds of time for feedback and has just been created in conversation with lots of folks. So I just wanted to thank Dr. Warren for that, and I think this is like a really great product that we have gotten to because of that.
Thank you. Yusra Ali, did you have a hand up?
Yes, I did. And Sarah said exactly what I was going to say. So thank you. And I echo what she said.
Okay, that is great. Okay, well, I would like to make a motion to vote to approve the, should we call it the 2026-2027 draft calendar? Okay. So I would like to make a motion to, I'll lead you.
No, I'm seconding, but go ahead.
He's on
Let me
it.
finish my motion. Hold on.
Gotcha.
Okay, I would like to make a motion to vote on the 2026-2027 draft calendar. I'm making the motion. Okay, yes, sorry. Is there a second? Yes, Ali, thank you. And are there any questions from the committee on this motion? Chair Lenz, is that a hand up?
Yes, I was just gonna suggest amending the motion to say that you are approving it and then moving it to board.
Thank you. Okay, yes, I accept that amendment. So I would like to make a motion to approve the draft 2026-2027. I'm having a hard time tonight. 2027 draft calendar to move it to the full board. And is there a second? Thank you, Board Member Ali. Ali, are there any questions from the committee on the motion? And is there any public comment on the motion? Is there any discussion on the motion? Okay, then by roll call vote, please indicate whether you are in favor of voting to approve the draft calendar to move it to the full board. Board Member Ali.
Yes.
Board Member Yusra Ali.
Yes.
Vice Chair Bondo.
Yes.
And I am a yes, so that the motion passes unanimously. Thank you so much, Dr. Warren.
Thank you. And I see that Kristen Tedesco is still on here. She was one of our union partners that was involved in this conversation. So thank you, Kristen. I know
Thank you,
you're
Kristen.
you're on the other side of the veil or whatever, but thank you.
Great. And Dr. Warren, and maybe Chair Lenz, procedurally, when will the full board see this calendar? Will it be tomorrow or will it be at the following meeting?
You know what? Let me double check to see if it actually made it onto the agenda for tomorrow night. If it didn't, we'll have to hold it for the next time. I can look that up right now.
Great. Chair Lenz is shaking her head. It's not on there. I'm just pulling up my calendar so I can announce.
Okay. Yeah, because sorry about that. I thought we had so then we'll need to do it at the next full business
March
meeting.
March 10th.
Yeah.
Okay, so the
Which we're
full
still
board.
technically ahead of the requirements in terms of, state and our own policy.
Okay.
Yeah.
So yeah, the full board will have a look at this calendar on the March 10th meeting. Great. Okay. The next thing I wanted to just check in with the committee about while we're all together is the two policies that we brought back to the committee at the last board meeting. Those are policy GBEB. That one is staff conduct with students, and the other is BEDH. This is not on our agenda, so we can't really have a full discussion or debate about either one of those. But what I wanted to do tonight is hear from any board members. We're planning to discuss them at our next meeting, and we're planning to have legal counsel at the meeting as well. And so that'll be a time that we can ask lawyers specific questions. So, with regard to GBEB, Board Member Sawtell and I have been working on reviewing that and amending it. And we have looked at some policies from other districts. I've also been working with Dr. Warren about that, on that project. And I'm wondering if there's anything in particular that anyone would like to bring up now, or just, I'm sharing this now to make sure that everyone's prepared to discuss this at the next meeting. Yes, Board Member Yusra Ali.
I remember that, based on the emails and that we got, that a lot of people have strong feelings, and I know that is ruffling a lot of feathers. But I think and I could also meet with you and Board Member Sautel, but I would like for us to stay as broad as we can, and then maybe have I'm forgetting the process, but something that defines what appropriate and inappropriate, relationship is. But I feel like if we take everything into consideration, each person's concerns, then we will not reach anywhere. So honestly, I feel like, and it's good that we're listening to everyone, but also making sure that we have a robust process and not get dragged behind by trying to consider every scenario.
Yeah, I really appreciate that. That's really helpful. Something we've been doing is looking at policies from other districts as well around us to see what other districts are doing and whether or not their policies read better. And maybe it's just the language that we had put forth that wasn't sitting well with some people. So that is something we're looking into. But I appreciate that. It is an important policy. I believe we must have it, and I feel very strongly that we do need to approve it. But I want to make sure that it is something that teachers feel like when they read it, they think, yes, this makes sense. This is appropriate, and I can follow this. That's
Yes,
the
definitely
goal.
agree with you.
Great. Any
Ask a
other?
clarifying question.
Yes, go ahead.
Member Ali, were you were you talking about the rules maybe, or the procedures, that having more detail there as opposed to the policy?
Yes.
Okay, that's helpful. Thank you.
Okay. Anything else that committee members might want us to look into between now and our next meeting on that, beyond what I've just said? Okay, great. So that will be coming up next meeting, and then the other is policy BEDH, which is the public comment policy. And with that one, we brought it back to committee just really to make sure that, given how things have sort of been progressing with the national state of things and the, public comment that we experienced in Portland and in other towns have been experiencing, my question is, are there other things that we want to do here in Portland to make public comment more accessible to other people? One idea I've been sort of floating is having the opportunity to write in public comment, send an email in if you can't attend in person or on Zoom. That's one thing that our city council does. Another thing that has been brought up is whether or not, as a school board, we would like to eliminate Zoom virtual public comment at school board meetings. That's something I'm curious about people's opinions. Again, it would be helpful to have this conversation with legal counsel present, but that is something we're looking at next meeting. If anyone wants to add anything in, go ahead. Yes, Vice Chair Bondo.
Yes, thank you, Chair. Yeah, I would like to see that for next week. And I just want to echo a little bit what Board Yusra just mentioned about us going to the robust policies instead to go to each different process, because in the end, we're going to keep having those policies back. So I wonder, because it's been back and forth. So I keep wondering myself, why are we still in the same small policy, but we really want to make it really progressive, but keep it robust and a strong policy is really aligning with our core values. So I will wait for next time so we can have some discussion and to move that forward. Thank you.
Thank you. Yusra, Ali, did you have something?
Yes, I wanted to say I remember Sarah Lentz brought up last meeting that people write down their information before giving public comment, and I just thought that was such a great idea. And I think with that, it's kind of the people are not as anonymous and free to speak hatred, and I feel like we should explore that. Um, Although I feel like there is some good or pros to eliminating Zoom, we have to think about the majority of comments we get is not negative, and I just would be kind of yeah, I would have to think twice, not making sure that people who cannot make it and have like important things to say or do not have access to that opportunity to bring their voice in.
Chair Lentz, go ahead.
Oh, thank you. I would love to just ask legal counsel if we could put a perimeter up around like props or things that come into the space. I think that that is not an infringement on First Amendment rights, but I would like to ask about that. I've just seen that happen in other places and in our meetings. It always makes me a little uneasy when people bring things in with them.
Yeah, I will definitely add that to the list of questions.
Okay, that's great. Thank you so much. And in the meantime, between now and next meeting, if anyone has any thoughts or suggestions or anything they want to share about any of those things, Vice Chair Bondo, I really appreciate what you said about just like the procedure in general of working on these policies. I think it's something that I'd like to work on as well. So I have that in my notes. Um, and with that, I'm going to make a motion to, Ali, yes.
Yes, one final thing. I have a proposed policy that I've been working on. I've been told I pretty much told the whole board that I was going to be working on this discrimination all the way to the classroom, and I was going to provide it today, but I mean it was not today, but like the last few days ago. But I was still working on it. I'm going to provide that through email, and just look forward to it. And hopefully we can probably discuss that in the next meeting, and yeah, just moving forward. So just letting you guys know. Thank you.
Thanks, Ali. Yeah, send that over email and make sure that you copy Dr. Warren, so we have that and can look at how it fits in to our plans. Great. Dr. Warren.
Yeah, I just wanted to make sure we say Ramadan Kareem to everyone who's celebrating and to those who are celebrating. It just happens we have all of these wonderful celebrations happening at the same time this year with Lent too, and then we had the Chinese New Year. So just want to focus in on that positivity while we can. Sending
Thanks so
good
much.
energy to our friends and colleagues that are fasting right now.
Thank you, Dr. Warren.
Thank you.
Okay, great. I would like to make a motion to adjourn this meeting. Is there a second? Yes, board member Ali. Oh, Dr. Warren, are you raising a hand? No, okay.
No, I just can't seem to run the controls.
Okay. All in favor, please raise your hand. Great. We are adjourned at 6:37 p.m. Please remember we have committee meetings beginning at 7:30 and see you there. Thank you. Oh, we are adjourned at 6:37 p.m. Thank you.